Hey everyone, this is Ken, and today we're going to be doing a tutorial on an individual auto potion brewer. Now what's great about this, guys, is the simple fact that it works for 1.9, and not only does it work for 1.9, it also works for the console edition and 1.8. Now the cool thing, guys, you can literally fix it to work in both systems with a simple modification. Now check it out, with 1.9 we do have this new setup where there's actually an extra ingredient involved, which is fine because it's just a simple add-on with the old system. Now with 1.8 we don't have that, and with the console edition as well, but at one point, guys, we're going to get it, so I want to have it set up so that if you make this, and with the new update, you can simply just add this on and it'll still work just as great. Now with the new system, or 1.9, we do have blaze powder involved in this, and we also have, of course, our ingredients to make this happen. We're going to need water bottles, we're going to need the ingredients itself, and if any of those are missing, that light will turn on and the system will be in lockdown mode. Now the cool feature is the fact that all these items will automatically go in the chest, and we also have a light indication system right over here, which lets us know that that batch is getting started. And once all those items go in there, that light will turn on, will turn off, and the second the new batch kicks in, the light will turn right back on. Which is great because it kind of gives us an idea of what's happening and how long it really takes. Now that light indication just simply lets us know right there that the blaze powder is empty in the chest and the hopper underneath, and that the only blaze powder we have is with inside that brewing stand. So it's a nice little indication to let you know that you're getting low on items. Now, of course, with the water system is a little different. We do have our water bottles right there, and that light will go off the second it gets empty. But at the same time, the light on top will go off and lock the system as well, because that's a crucial ingredient to really make potions. Without that, you can't do anything. So it pretty much locks that so that the system doesn't mess up or jam up for whatever reason. And the great thing is, the last batch will always go in that chest. Now, if that chest gets filled up on the bottom, the lights will turn on top, and the one on the bottom will stay on, and the system will be on complete lockdown. Once again, to prevent any kind of, backup. Now, to start this bad boy, you're going to add your Redstone Torch right there. And as you can see, guys, it's already brewing. Look at that. Already got it going. We have all the ingredients perfectly lined up the way they should be. And at this point, guys, I'm just going to fast forward it a little bit. I'm probably going to skip this or kind of speed it up slightly, so you can see the items go in the chest and kind of know what I'm talking about. Now check this out. The second the light turns off, those items will go right into the chest, and when the new batch starts, the light will go back on. See? Look at that. It's a new batch. And the potions are already made. Look at that. It's fantastic. And the cool thing is, it will continue to do this until at least one of the items are empty, or if the chest gets filled up, and then it'll be on lockdown. And the cool thing is, nothing will get backed up, guys. I mean, it's a great idea. It's a great system to have, especially if you want Pacific potions to be continuously made, and you're going to be using this for those kind of reasons. Now, the redstone behind this is really not too complicated, and I made it so that you have a nice little setup on top, or a platform, to restock your items. See? As you can see, guys, to really show you an example, we have one ingredient here that only has one left, where the other one has about 22 to 23 items. Now you're going to notice the second I turn this on, that bad boy is going to be on lock mode. Check it out. Once you add that redstone torch there, you're going to notice it's going to start brewing. But the entire system gets on lock mode to prevent a second batch for setting incorrect ingredients. You see? Now, to kind of further explain this a little bit, we're going to go to the back here and I'm going to show you what's happening. Now, as you can see right here, we have a redstone signal going right across to the top here and activating that piston. That piston is going to stop the signal strength going towards those droppers. You see? Because the second an item is finished, it actually sends a signal to the droppers dispensing the items. Now each one of the items has a redstone block to activate the redstone dust. And the cool thing is, the second you refill it, you're pretty much good to go at that point. Before we do that, I want to show you how it looks once the items go inside. You see? Look at that. That's perfect. It's ready brewing. And I want to show you the signal that comes out of it once that stops and finishes. As you can see right there in the bottom, that redstone dust is going to kind of turn on and send a quick pulse to the top part here. Now, I don't know if you guys saw that, but that was kind of cut off by that block with the piston, preventing a second batch from happening. Now, once you put that item inside, the system unlocks itself and you could continue making more batches. Now, once that happens, all you have to do is add your Redstone Torch on the side and continue where you left off at. It's a great security feature to have to this. See, we got our items there, and we got our items right on top like we should have. Now at this point, guys, let's jump into the build. These are going to be the base materials you're going to need for the build. So you will be needing a block of your choice, some half slabs. You will need 44 dirt blocks for this, and that has to do with a timing issue. One wooden shovel, which has to do with signal strength. You will need a few item frames, some droppers, hoppers, a few chests, sticky pistons, redstone lamp, redstone dust, redstone torch, repeaters, comparators, redstone blocks, and of course one bucket of water. Now check the description, guys. It will have a list of exactly how many items you'll need of each. Now feel free to pause the video and have this set up before you start this build. Fantastic, guys. Now at this point, you're going to go straight down to the right hand corner and place 3 blocks right across. Then you're going to place 1 repeater going forward and 3 more blocks right across and some redstone dust on top of each one of those blocks. Then you're going to place a block right there, a half slab right there, leave 1 space, and you'll place a dropper facing forward with a hopper going into that dropper like so. Now you're going to place 1 wooden shovel on the inside of this dropper, and this has to do with signal strength, guys. That will give a signal strength of 3 redstone. So that once it gives a quick pulse and it goes right back, that strength will send that signal to that repeater and then activate the system for the second batch. Then you'll place a block there, 1 behind it, and delete the first one and replace that with a redstone torch in front of that block. Now you're going to place a half slab right there, little block, then a half slab, then delete the block and extend that all the way to the back. Then you're going to place a block right there, 2 pieces of redstone dust, add another half slab and 1 right behind it. You should have 4 in total. Then you add 2 repeaters, a block right there, and a comparator going forward. You could delete that because you're not going to use that. Now, in all honesty, guys, you should have this kind of look at this point. Then at this point right there, I want you to place 2 hoppers facing each other. Perfect. Now at this point, guys, I want you to place a block right on top of the dropper on the left and a redstone torch on the side of it. Now underneath that redstone torch, I want you to place 44 dirt blocks into that hopper, guys. It's very important because it has to deal with a timing issue. So make sure it's 44. Trust me. Now at this point, you're going to place 3 half slabs from that point right across, and a block right there. Delete the one underneath and add a redstone dust on top and 3 repeaters going forward. Okay. Now make sure each repeater is on 4 ticks. Fantastic. Alright, so it's really come together, guys. We're really doing a good job here, and you should have this kind of look at this point. Now at this point you want to place a redstone lamp on top of that block and a large chest right behind it. Now, you want to place a hopper going towards that chest and the actual brewing stand on top of it. Now you're going to place a hopper, let me see, you try to get a nice angle, but you're generally going to place a hopper on top of it and one on this side. Now this has to be the side where the water bottles are going to be at. Now if you're doing 1.9, make sure to add a hopper on the other side as well, but if you're doing 1.8 or the console edition at this point, just leave it blank. Fantastic. Alright guys, now you're going to have to place a solid block on the side of that lamp, which will be the floor, and make sure to add a half slab, because you don't want that redstone lamp to be on continuously. Otherwise you won't know the indications that are happening when it happens. Now right behind the brewing stand, you're going to add a block of your choice, which will represent, I guess, your design or the color you want to use. Then on top of that block, you're going to add one comparator going forward, so that it can get the signal from the actual hopper. Then you're going to add 4 half slabs right to the back, place a block at the end, a half slab on the side, delete that one, and 2 more right across. See? So you should have this kind of look. Then you're going to add 1 repeater right there, 2 pieces of redstone dust. You're going to add 1 comparator going towards the block and 1 going in the opposite direction with some redstone dust behind it. Then you're going to add some redstone dust underneath it in that spacing. See? Now at this point guys, I want you to add a dropper right there on top of that top hopper, and every dropper behind it, because you're going to add a maximum of 4, are going to represent the ingredients that you want to make your potion. Now you don't have to use all 4, you could use less if you want to, but I'm showing you the maximum number that you could really use to really set up your automatic potions, okay? Then you place a hopper facing downwards on that first dropper, and that's just to eliminate an extra hopper that you're not going to use. So it's a great way to kind of economize on resources. Then you're going to place 4 hoppers going forward in a straight line to the back end. Remember, those 4 droppers represents the ingredients. So of course, if you need less ingredients, use less. Then you can place a half slab there, delete that, and 4 right across like so. Then you're going to place a comparator to get the signal from those droppers. Now a cool little nifty trick I found out is a butt switch that actually works with this. Now if you put an item inside of this, it's going to activate that 1 piston right there, you see? Even though it's not connected, it actually activates that kind of butt switch kind of mode. Now the worst thing is, if you add a block, it actually activates the pistons next to it. And when you delete it, it doesn't retract. So to really prevent that, just make sure you add that there, so when that gets activated, that specific piston gets activated. Alright, I got a little tongue tied, but you guys generally know what I mean. Fantastic. Awesome. Now right underneath, you're going to add your redstone blocks. And right on the side of it, where the ground level is at, you're going to add 4 half slabs right across. And the last one, well, the 4th one, you're going to change that to a solid block. And add some redstone dust right across, so that it can be activated once some item is missing. And add 1 more right there. Then you're going to add a half slab there with a block on top, half slab on the side of it with a block on top. Then once again on the other side, add a block there and 1 on that side, and you can delete the blocks in between. Then you're going to add some redstone dust in a back and forth pattern to extend the signal upwards. Then you add 1, 2, and 3 half slabs, a repeater right there and there, any block in between. Then you can delete that half slab because it doesn't have any use for it. Then you're going to add 2 blocks like so, delete the one underneath, add another block on top, delete that one, and that's where you're going to add a sticky piston, and that's going to cut off the signal. Now you can delete that block, of course, but we'll get to that later on. Now at this point, guys, I want you to add a large chest on both sides of these droppers. Add one there, and you're going to add one here as well. Let me get that in the correct direction. Perfect. Now at this point, you're going to place a half slab right there so that you can get the signal coming off from the water bottle chest. Then you're going to place a block in front of that comparator, a redstone torch in front of it with a block on top of that. Then 2 more blocks on top of it. Then you can delete the one in the center and place it with a redstone torch and 1 more redstone torch on the side to lock the system. Now, I know it doesn't really make too sense now, but let's start creating the framework. Now you'll take your block of choice, place it right there underneath each chest, and 1 on the side and 2 more on top. Then you're going to add 1 more and extend that upwards 1 more time, and add 3 redstone lamps on the top part and some stairs underneath to cover that up. Then at an angle, you're going to place 2 blocks, 1 there, and repeat that on the other side. Then you're going to add your redstone lamp right there, which is being powered by that redstone torch, and a redstone lamp there as well. But that's optional, that's only for the 1.9 version. Then you're going to extend this upwards, and what I did was I added a block there and just kind of stretch it all the way down to the end, and I extended that 2 more blocks and of course repeated the same exact pattern just to give it a bit more definition, and it kind of looks nice that way. Like I said, guys, it's pretty much your style and you can really switch it up to what fits your needs. Now at this point, guys, let's go right underneath at the back end here, and I want to get signal coming from that chest. That's going to let us know that once this chest gets filled up, you want the entire system to lock anyway. So by doing that, you're going to add a comparator right there. And you're going to add a block on the side of it. Then you're going to add some redstone dust on top of it and the lever. Then you're going to activate that lever and make sure that it stays on. Now the reason for that is it has to do with signal strength. If you add an item inside, it won't shoot a signal because the strength coming from the side of it is stronger. Now once that chest is activated or filled up, it's going to match the signal, hence sending out a pulse or a signal to activate the system. Kind of hope that makes sense. I know comparators are a bit complicated, but that's generally how it works. Then you place 2 blocks like that, delete that and 1 in the center, and add some redstone dust on top of that block. Now before you do that, you're going to place a block on the side of it with a half slab and add 2 more redstone dust right across to create this kind of format. Then add a block there, and a 1 there and there as well. Delete that. And you can see that it kind of connects with the block on the floor, you see? So all you have to do is add a repeater right there. So once that repeater is activated, it's going to turn off that torch and turn on that torch, hence leaving the light on. Now we're going to place a block there and a repeater going forward towards a block in front of it. Then a block right there underneath with some redstone dust on top of it. And we're going to place a block there. But I actually made a slight little mistake. All we have to do is just delete these 2 blocks here. Replace that with a half slab. Put some redstone dust on top of it. And put a block right there. That has to be a solid block. So you can create this kind of pattern here. Then of course add your redstone torch underneath. So once the time comes, it can lock the system at the same time it gets filled up. And some redstone dust right there to continue on the signal and straight to the piston. Awesome. Now, you don't have to do this for 1.8 or the console edition, but to get the signal to that lamp we're going to get the signal from the hopper underneath. So you're going to place a half slab there and 1 more in front of it. Now we're going to get this signal coming off from that hopper. So we can place a comparator there with a repeater in front of it, you see? And that's the hopper that's going towards the side of the brewing stand. Then you can place a block there a half slab right there underneath where the redstone lamp is, with some redstone dust on top of it, and a redstone torch on the side of it, with a block on top. Now the reason we set it up that way is so that you can easily connect a second system right next to it without any of the other items interfering with it. But like I said, guys, that's completely optional, and that's generally for the 1.9 system. Now at this point, I'm going to place some color blocks over here to represent the droppers that are going to get activated. Now you're going to place 2 half slabs right there, and you're going to extend that right across the 4 blocks that are blue, and 2 more right behind it. 1, 2, 3. Fantastic. Now let's get the signal going downwards. We'll place a block right there. Then we're going to place a half slab underneath. We're going to delete the block on top. Repeat the same pattern. Add a block underneath. Place a half slab on the side of it. Delete that. Block. One more block underneath. Half slab on the side. Delete that. A block right there and one more half slab. And all you have to do is extend the signal of the redstone dust straight up until you connect with the rest of the system, you see? And then right across like so. Then you're going to add a repeater there on 1 tick. You're going to add this repeater on 2 ticks to create a small delay. This one on 3 ticks to create an extended delay. And of course the last one on 4 ticks. So that all the items get distributed evenly and correctly towards the brewing stand. Then right there in that sticky piston right there, you're going to add a block right underneath. And that's going to be the locking system. Now right over here on the other side, you're going to add some half slabs right across. And you can use that to make it like a nice platform to set up. So when you want to restock your items, it looks nicer. I mean, you can add some carpet on top, and you can really hook this up to have like really nice back entrance to lead all the way up here. Kind of refill your items once the system gets on lock mode. And of course, add your item frames or any kind of indication to let you know what's what. Now we're going to connect the rest of this to the other side here to activate these lamps. So you're going to place some half slab parallel to the hoppers. Make sure it's half slabs. Then you're going to add some blocks on top of the redstone lamps, a block on top of that torch, and some redstone dust from this point straight line till you hit that block, and right on top of each one of those blocks like so. Now at this point, guys, we're going to set up our water source. So you're going to place a block there and there on both sides. Delete the one in the center. Add a half slab right underneath it. Delete that. And of course, you're going to add your water right inside of it, so that you can always refill your bottles and have an unlimited supply of water. Now at this point, guys, I want you to cover up the ground. But before we do that, add a piston right there, a sticky piston, with a redstone block right underneath. Now let me delete the redstone blocks. I don't want to activate the system. I'm going to show you what happens. If you had a redstone torch on the side, it tends to butt switch that sticky piston. And even if you had a half slab. So you can actually activate any side of those as long as you add the redstone torch. That will be like the secret hidden button. Now once you've done that, guys, like I said, just cover up the ground and kind of hook it up to your own style. Now at this point, guys, we're going to start labeling everything. So on the left hand side, that's going to be the blaze powder. And on the right, that will be the water bottles. Now, of course, the blaze powder is just for 1.9, but if you're doing this on the console edition, that could just be an empty chest for pretty much any item you want to put in there, or storage, etc. Now, you definitely put the labeling also in the middle as well to let you know what potion it is. Now, at this point, guys, I want you to put your potions inside at the same exact format of the ingredients, so that one could go right after the other the way it should be. So make sure you take your time and you set that up, and you put them in correctly in the same format to your desired potion. Fantastic. Now the system is still unlocked because we haven't put in the water bottles yet. But the second you put those water bottles inside, good to go. Look at that. Alright, so let's delete all these little knickknacks. And let's get a redstone torch and let's test it out. Alright guys, moment of truth. All you have to do is place your redstone torch there, delete it. That light's gonna go on, and you're gonna notice the bottles are gonna go right inside. Ah, perfect. And you're good to go, guys. Anyway, guys, I want to thank everybody for watching. If you could please leave a comment and subscribe. Thank you.